The Siege of Pella 269 BC. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish, and this battle, oh boy, this battle you're about to watch was so goddamn intense, and let me explain why. This battle isn't just like for honor and glory like most other online battles are. This battle was taken from the head-to-head Divide et Impera stream that me and Republic of Play, aka Darren, go ahead and do every single Tuesday and Thursday 2 PM GMT, and I know after you guys have watched this you'll want to come check it out because it is by far some of the best campaign content out there at the moment, and it is definitely the most fun I've had in Total War in a long time. So this battle was for my capital. I am playing as Macedon and Pella is currently being under siege. We're around about, I think, 30 turns into the campaign at this point, so you know, I've managed to create a stronghold in Greece. However, the Thracian tribes to the north, all four of them have declared war on me, and before I could really muster a defense to defend the city of Pella, they descended upon me in all their glory. But one of the really exciting things about this head-to-head campaign between me and Darren is that Darren gets to play as VAI in any close battle. We normally have a 70% auto-resolve cutoff. If it's below 70%, we have to fight it, so that makes every battle really important and difficult to win. You can't just go around auto-resolving your way through close battles. You actually have to win them on the campaign map, on the battlefield, and that makes for some pretty goddamn intense fighting. So as I said, all the Thracian tribes have declared war on me. They've come down with around about 14,000 men. Yeah, 14,000 men. And that is absolutely insane at this point in the campaign because I've only just got done with, you know, conquering the rest of Greece. I've beaten Sparta, I've beaten the Aetolian League and Epirus at this point. And that's left me very wounded. It's left my population extremely drained from Pella because I've been in constant war. And now that all four of these tribes have confederated to go to war with me, and the fact that Darren is playing as the AI armies, which are currently mustering, you know, ready to burn Pella to the ground, it's just gonna be an absolutely goddamn, you know, intense ass battle. But if I lose, will set me back a millennium. It will set me back so far in the campaign if I lose my capital. Not only because it's my capital and the humiliation of losing that, but also Divide et Impera has an amazing population mechanic. And if my capital is taken, that's supposed to be my main hub of where I get my men from, where I, you know, produce the soldiers to send out and go and campaign and expand the Macedonian Empire. So if I lose it right now, that's going to set me back, you know, 50 odd turns in the campaign maybe to get the population and the buildings and the supply to go ahead and, you know, get back to where I was. And that is just absolutely terrifying right now. As well as that, my king is currently leading the defense. He was, I believe, winning a battle or two down in the south against Epirus when I took Apollonia, and now he rushed back to Pella to try and defend the city. However, his army is extremely battered. As you can see, he only has 67 men in his unit, and the majority of his army, again, you can see these banners are already tattered and destroyed. You know, you got this unit of pikemen with 173 men, this one with 81 soldiers. His entire army is just ruined right now after heavy campaigning. And, you know, the population of Pella is already kind of drained because I've been fighting the entirety of the campaign. And in Divide et Impera, you know, you need times of peace to build up your population to give you a chance to, you know, produce these armies. So because of that, I'm just, you know, struggling at the moment. And then now this siege happens. That is just like the worst possible situation that I could have found myself in. Especially the amount of numbers as well the enemy have. You know, this is 3 full stacks. Darren is controlling 2 of the yellow stacks, which is 40 units, which normally would be fine if there was 3 armies, because you can only have a 40v40 sided battle in Total War, but one person can only control 40 units. But because there's another faction here, Darren can go ahead and have 60 units. The AI will control 20 units, and Darren will control 40 because the other faction is the green one, which the AI will be taking control of. So because of that, I'm currently being under siege by, you know, so many men, and they're all coming at once. Plus, my king's army is like a half stack that's already really battered. So I really only have the garrison and a handful of men. I think in total I had something like 4,000, maybe not even that. But again, a lot of them 4,000 soldiers weren't very good. So I've currently got, you know, probably like 2,500 effective units up against 14,000 men for my capital, which is so important in Divide et Impera to control. So as you can see, this battle is not just simply a fun online battle where there's not really a lot at stake. This battle means everything. And what me and Darren love to do in these online battles is, in these head-to-head battles, is have a 40-minute battle timer. So because we have a 40-minute battle timer, these sieges go down to the wire the majority of the time. And it gives the defenders, even if they're outnumbered, a tiny chance of holding on to the bitter end. They won't necessarily hold on, you know, if the enemy's force is superior, they will just get wiped away like they're nothing in the 40 minutes. 40 minutes is plenty of time. However, if you can go ahead and have enough troops holding certain positions, you make enough sacrifices, you can have a chance at holding for 40 minutes. It just means the attackers have to kind of get a little bit of a double step on. Not really. The defenders still have plenty of time to conquer this set of, you know, area, but it just means they have to be a little bit cautious of time to keep an eye on, which I think is awesome. The fact that the attackers have as much time as they want in hour-long battles just doesn't make for that many close battles. And let me tell you, this battle goes down to the wire. It is absolutely insane. It really is. And you can already see my delay tactics right here already popping off. I'm throwing in cavalry outside the city to slow up Darren's siege towers so that it takes him a little bit longer to get to the wall, because as I said, every single minute in these battles do honestly count. So I'm using some of my, what are these guys? The Tarentine cavalry. I'm throwing these guys out, which are pretty light cavalry, but they're just here to basically slow up this advance. Make sure that these ladders arrive at the wall that little bit longer, you know, maybe waste a couple minutes here and there, and that will really give me, you know, so much time, so much valuable time I need to really defend this. You can see Darren though has brought up his battering ram. He's going to be smashing this down. And also I should mention as well, so yeah, Darren obviously is not playing as this faction. It's just in the head-to-head, as I've mentioned earlier, Darren gets to pick any of these battles. If I choose to fight them, which I have to, for any battle that is under 70% auto-resolve, we have to fight the battle, which again makes it some really awesome, you know, fighting. And Darren gets to control them. So because of that, you know, it makes it then very difficult. But yeah, Darren is not playing as this faction. Darren is playing as India, which is in the far reaches of the campaign map. Literally as far east as you can go. And yeah, he's playing as a really cool India faction as he's invading, you know, Mesopotamia and the Seleucids, and he's got all that awesome stuff going on, which makes it some really fun, you know, gameplay, because where the Indian faction starts is as far as Alexander's empire went. You know, that is literally the furthest reaches as Alexander's, you know, actual empire went. So if I want to win the campaign, and I do that by conquering Darren's capital, I have to, you know, basically recreate Alexander's empire, which I think it just sounds so awesome to do, and that's the plan right now. You know, is to do that. But obviously this is a very early stage in the campaign. In Divide et Impera, you can't just, you know, make an army and send it to the enemy capital. The Divide et Impera obviously has population, so when you conquer new regions, you can't just then reproduce the units you've been building in your capital, because there's no people to be them, you know, there's no Greeks there most of the time anyway. A lot of the time you're having to use auxiliaries and units from the, you know, the region to fill out your armies, to fill out the soldiers you've lost in your campaigns, again, which is just so goddamn awesome, and why this battle for Pella is so goddamn important, because if I lose it, I lose my capital, I lose my population, I lose my war machine. And as well as that, I don't know if I've mentioned already, but the majority of units I'm using are these Greek militia, which are from the garrison, and as you can see, they're not very good. Luckily, the enemy army is mainly using numbers rather than anything else. You know, it's not like the Thracians have unlocked their best units yet. You know, we are kind of early in the campaign. So because of that, they're not really the best quality of soldiers. There's a few really good Falksman units, but the majority of them are somewhat trash units. However, I'm also using trash units as well. As we've seen, like, a lot of my units are so depleted. Again, if we just take a look at, like, these guys, they're down to 124 men, and that's not from the battle. This unit's down to 83 soldiers, and it's mercenary. The majority of my army at this point in the campaign was mercenary as well, because I just did not have the population whatsoever to reproduce any of this. You know, I couldn't field my own soldiers because I'd been fighting Sparta and the Etonian League and Epirus so much that my population had already been somewhat drained. So I was using mainly mercenaries at this point. Now, the one good part of my army, as the enemy come closer and closer, as we get ready to reform up our formation, the one good part of my army were my mercenaries I managed to pick up in Sparta. I think I have 3 units of Rhodian slingers, which are really strong. And I have 2 units of Cretan archers, which if you guys have played Rome 1, you know are always super good in the game. So my missiles are kind of good, but it's extremely hard to use them in these tight streets with the pathfinding. It just doesn't really work that effectively, unfortunately. And Darren's doing a great job. He's looking to just try and spread my defense as much as possible. Because I don't have a lot of men to begin with, every single man I have, every single unit I have is really, really important. So the fact that he's coming, you know, and attacking me from multiple positions, he could even feasibly maybe come from the back here and attack from here as well. You know, eventually one side is going to buckle because I just don't have enough men to defend every single region. So all he has to do is just keep on sending in these soldiers at every single angle, and eventually my army will just collapse because I can't defend this point and that point and this point and that point all at the same time with enough quality to stop him from just running his way through my phalanx. Luckily right now I have, you know, this is like I think one of my good units of hoplites in my king's army, the army that's currently garrisoned here, not to be confused with the garrison army. I have 3 units of hoplites which are basically full strength, proper Macedonian hoplites, which you can see right here. They're called Greek hoplites, but they're different to normal Greek hoplites. So I have 3 units of these guys who are basically, this one just has 1 man lost. So they're basically my core stone, which I'm using to defend the gatehouse right now from the AI's assaults. You can see right now as well, the AI is a green faction, by the way. It's just throwing its men through the gatehouse, which is kind of annoying. I imagine Darren wouldn't want this to happen. He'd want to position him elsewhere, but he can't really do much about it. Another ladder's being brought up as well to try and soften up this position right here. And one of the really, really annoying things that you'll see Darren do in a moment is use this ledge against me. For some reason in Impera, there is this annoying ass ledge right here that allows him to throw his javelins and basically secure this part of the battlefield kind of nicely. You can see he's moving up javelins right now, and he's going to start just throwing the javelins down here and start hitting my defenders. And this is my best men right now. I need my good men here, and javelins from the side will just start to chip away at my defenders. And I do not have the men to withstand this. You can already see, you know, these guys are morale is kind of low already, which is not good because they're getting tired. And now having these javelins come down, oh, it's just going to be horrific. You know, look at the kills. You know, and what I have to do, my plan, you know, I'm outnumbered like 5 to 1 right now. There is no way I'm going to kill everything. The only salvation I have is to hold out and just buy myself enough time that the timer runs out. And then I believe at this point in the campaign, I had an army which was on its way to go ahead and lift the siege, or at least support in the siege. It was like, I think, around about 15 to 16 units of men. It was a fairly decent army. However, it did not arrive in time because in Divide et Impera, the mod we're playing for Rome 2 Total War, each season adds in different effects, and I believe this battle or the term before was winter, or maybe it's even winter now and it's just like kind of a light winter. Either way, it was winter, and that basically reduced the movement speed or the campaign movement range of my second army by like 30%, so I couldn't bring it up to reinforce this position in time to lift this siege. So, you know, it's good that I've got that army there. So necessarily, it's also another thing I have to think about in this battle. It's not necessarily about me winning it. It's about trying to kill as much as possible. So in, I think, a turn's time, I can then try and reclaim back my capital if it is lost with that secondary army. So again, there's just so much more strategy involved in these battles. Hopefully you guys are starting to see how cool this stuff is just by what I'm talking about. Hopefully I'm explaining it well enough, and if I'm not, then just turn up, you know, or just watch the VOD. I'll leave the video link to the VODs down below in the comments so you can check it out. And obviously come Tuesday and Thursday 2 p.m. GMT is when we start, and we normally play for about 5 hours. And we have some really good battles like you're seeing, and stories like this, you know, how the Thracian factions have all confederated together to stop this Macedonian threat that was growing in the south. After a few battles, they pushed my king back to Pella. They came in with their superior numbers and set the city under siege. And that's one of the things I just love about these head-to-head. You know, this battle, that would probably be extremely easy if it was the AI. You know, the AI would just rush their 14,000 men through the gatehouse and be done, right? However, because I'm fighting an actual player, I have to be so much cautious and mindful of everything else. Now, unfortunately, Darren can't choose his army or his siege equipment or anything like that. He just has to play with what he gets given. You know, imagine if he could have picked and he could have got, you know, something to destroy a wall. If he would have made a breach in this wall, there is literally nothing I would have been able to do. Like, he could have just poured through with his huge numbers. But right now, the only thing I have going for me is the fact that I have these choke points. I have these walls. I have all, you know, anything to slow him down as much as possible to try and, you know, win out that time, that 40-minute timer. And let me, like, I know I mentioned this already, but let me mention it again. This battle is so goddamn close. And the fact that there's so much at stake, you know, this is literally the next 30 odd turns of my campaign decided in this battle. Because the thing is as well, if I lose this battle, that gives the Thracians a walled city, you know, basically in the north part of my empire. And because of how area of the zone of control works, I can't move men past this until I take it. So I'm going to have to, you know, fight my way through. I mean, it also gives the AI time to replenish their men. It gives them time to build new armies. It's just like, this battle is so goddamn important. And how little I have. I mean, look at the balance of power right now. Look at that balance of power. It is just so goddamn insanely close. And look at that, the javelins are just causing havoc. Goddamn, who decided to build a goddamn ledge here? It is brutal. Hopefully when I upgrade the city, or if I retake it and upgrade the city, depending on if I lose or win this battle, I think the next version, or obviously I will retake it at some point if I lost it. But yeah, I think the upgraded version of the city, which makes it a bit bigger, doesn't have this ledge here, I hope. Because obviously Darren's goal for the entire campaign is to conquer this city. If Darren conquers this city, he wins the game. That's all you have to do, is hold the enemy's capital for a turn, I think. But at the moment, he's, you know, off in the far reaches, coming into the Seleucid territory. And one of the really cool things about him playing as India is that he starts off surrounded by the Seleucid satrapies, so all of their vassals. However, there is a scripted event that has actually already happened, where like a portion, I think it depends on what the relationships are and stuff, but basically a large portion of these satrapies go ahead and rebel against the Seleucids, which gives Darren time to expand into, you know, somewhat what was before protected territory, because the Seleucids and their satrapies held it. But now he can kind of pick and choose. But it's also somewhat random, you know, what factions do declare war. So he also has to be mindful of that. You know, he has to pick and choose his battles. Also, because he is, you know, around the, you know, the mountainous area, you know, as you go into India, it's extremely harsh terrain. It's like desert, it's mountains. So, you know, moving an army in there on Divide et Impera, which has a supply system, is going to be almost impossible. So for me, when I want to try and conquer his capital, it's going to be so brutal, moving, you know, really small distance, having to stay by my cities to keep supplied, to bring in supply wagons, and even then I could get, you know, huge droughts. I think where Alexander actually lost most of his most of his army when he came back from India, is actually, you know, obviously in the map, and yeah, it's just going to be very brutal. I can even stay by the coastline, I guess, if I ever get there, and do what Alexander did not, you know, where the fleet didn't turn up in time to supply the army, and he obviously lost a large portion of his army. So let me tell you a little story right now. So this unit right here has 47 men. It is a mercenary unit I went ahead and hired in my previous, you know, campaigning in Greece. And my god, does it go off in this battle. It is like literally the MVP. I give it the order to hold this goddamn position right now. And they hold it, you know, and they're hoplites, so they're not really that proficient in sword combat. But they hold their own against some pretty good Thracian units. A bit frustrating here as well is the AI with the support of Darren are taking these towers, and I need these towers to be up, because if these towers don't stay up, I miss out on all this, you know, fire arrows coming in right now, and that's really, really bad for me. Looking at the gate as well, Darren is just doing such a great job with his Javelin men, just demolishing the amount of dudes I've got here. I'm having to commit these Greek militia right now just to simply hold the gatehouse, because if the AI and or Darren can get through his, like, you know, probably like a good 7,000-8,000 men that are just waiting here, then it's just going to be game over, you know. There's so many different positions he can maneuver, and it's just going to be bad. Darren is also finally starting to see that he needs to start harassing me on other sides. It's a shame he doesn't have, like, another piece of siege equipment, because getting a ladder up here would have been really effective. But he's now moving over some more of his, you know, kind of weak units, but he's moving these guys over to start burning this gate down. But again, that's and he's doing the same thing over here as well. He's using his horses to burn this down as well. And this is a really smart idea, because even if he doesn't have the siege equipment, which again, he couldn't pick, he's just making me commit, you know, a unit of good hoplites over here, so that, you know, I have to be mindful of this. Because if I don't, I'm going to get, you know, 1,000 men. I mean, this is over 1,000 men right here. Each unit, just this alone is 900. So, you know, if I don't put men here, or a good enough unit to defend this, I'm going to have, you know, 2,000 men charging into my rear. So, you know, just stretching my defense is so goddamn important. My Cretan archers are moving up now. One of the things in this battle, because there was an AI army, it was really frustrating to maneuver, because it was kind of laggy, just solely because the AI army was clumping up its men. And in battles, when there's an AI army, it has to kind of take away CPU power due to the AI having to, you know, worry about pathfinding and stuff like that. So we don't normally get this, because Darren always controls the other army, so it doesn't have to take into account pathfinding. But because this time it did, just because there was another Thracian army faction here, it was a little bit laggy, which made maneuvering a bit hard. Like, a lot of the pathfinding was a bit dodgy, and getting these archers to shoot took me a long time to kind of get them, because the pathfinding was just really, really bad. But I did finally manage to get these dudes to bear, and this is exactly what you want to have to happen in these battles, is you want to get your men, because there's no barrier on your side of the wall, you want to get your missiles, and you just want to hammer away at the attackers as they try and push forward your defense. Because not only do we normally have this tower up here, look at all these missiles, and these, as I said, are like the only good part of my army defending this, are these mercenary Rhodian slingers and also the Cretan archers. I also have a handful of Greek militia archers, which are just these guys, who aren't the Cretans. I think I only have 2 units of Cretan archers. But these guys are just going to be, as I said, hammering away. Fire arrows is more than enough. You can also see I had to destroy all of these barricades, because for some reason they were just blocking. Well, obviously they were blocking all my men, but it was just really bad pathfinding to get around them, which was just a shame. I did manage to hold this position, however, Darren is committing more men up here. And, you know, at this point in the battle, I really do not have enough left. Like, if we look all the way back, it's just archers. Look how many archers I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 archers in my back line. 1 unit of slingers up here, which has done an amazing job at slaughtering these lightly armored units. I mean, look at these guys right now. They're just picking away. But Darren has the numbers to spare, you know. And if anything, he just wants me to run out of ammunition, which I am getting close to doing. You know, I've got all of these archers back here, but no infantry. You know, that is my huge problem. And these javelins are continuing just to harass me. I try to do like a little cheeky mechanic here and push up some pikemen to just go ahead and try and push this back, because they were starting to break through with their numbers. However, the javelins are just going to punish me for doing this. And realistically, I just shouldn't have been here with the pikes. The pikes would have been very useful elsewhere. Like, I try and form up and I just try and push them back. Because if you don't know, in Divide et Impera, phalanxes and pikes don't work like they do in vanilla. There's actually a really cool micromanagement. You can see I'm trying to run them away now, realizing the error of my way. You actually have to, so if you just leave them normal and don't click them, they'll just stay there and they'll defend if anything runs into them. If you right click once, they'll advance until they hit something. If you right click on an enemy unit, they'll advance to that unit until they hit it, and then they'll start attacking it. However, if you right click twice, they'll push through that unit. So they'll advance in phalanx formation or in a pike wall. They'll keep on advancing and attacking at the same time. So you can really micro your units to do a lot of damage, especially if you've got some heavy hoplites. You can just, punch a holes through enemy lines with your hoplites, and it's really, really good and a lot of fun. And there you go, you can see that unit going down. I'm now having to commit some more of these light hoplites into the battle. These guys can't form phalanx, they're more of a unit that's meant for, like, following cavalry. I'm having to throw them in right now. The pikes are gone, even though they're trying to route through this, I believe. As you can see, gaps are starting to appear, and Darren is doing an amazing job right now. I'm trying to send it, I'm trying to stop it immediately, but he's starting to get his javelins up onto this wall now. I don't have anything to defend this. Darren's line, just with his sheer weight of numbers, is pushed forward along this wall. And because there's no other way up here besides this one position, he can now start getting his javelins up here, which are going to just start throwing their spears down, and I'm going to be getting hit from multiple sides. And that's just so brutal for me, I need this to go down. But as you can see, I am starting, I have held, 16 minutes so far in this battle, which are only left 16 and a half. And again, as I said, this battle goes down to the wire. So don't necessarily take this as a 14 minutes until the battle's over, like until the defenders win or the attackers win. Like, trust me, the battle is so close that the timer, could say anything right now. And just watch them last couple seconds of the battle. It is absolutely insane. Especially when there's just, as I keep on saying, so much at stake in this battle. So all my archers are just volleying in. However, Darren has committed so many more men over here. He's got another 1,000 soldiers, basically 900 men up here. And I'm starting to break. My Greek militia just aren't any good. And there you go, they've broken. But I have nothing to send here. Look, archers, archers, archers. I've got archers, archers, more archers. Darren pushing over here meant that I had to commit one of my good units of spearmen to defend this. I think I have one unit. Yeah, I have one good spear unit left, but I need this elsewhere, right? I need this unit at the gate over here because Darren is starting to break through now. Look, he's starting to, the AI is pushing in. He's got javelins coming down. My numbers are dropping extremely quickly, and huge gaps are starting to appear. I'm trying to use what remains of my ammunition to hit these javelins to minimize their damage. But the javelins are just doing so much. That's a perfect little throw down right now. And once the floodgates open, I mean, just look how much Darren has back in reserve, which he just haven't had to use because there's just there's only so many men you can commit to this. He also brought up a second ladder, which I love to do in these online battles, is bring up a ladder or two later, like 20 minutes into the battle, because at that point, normally the defender is already pretty stretched. I mean, I have nothing extra to defend this whatsoever. I've got this one unit of pikes, which I kind of have to leave here. And then I've got this breach point right now, which obviously Darren's going to start using as he advances more men up the ladders. I've got archers, and I've got this one unit of spearmen. I basically have 2 units in reserve right now. However, my main problem is this gate. And if this gate goes, I'm going to need to have a pike unit and a spear unit here and here to defend this open breach. Now, this is something, again, I could have defended and let him come through and take the gatehouse and stuff. But I just didn't think it was worth it. Maybe next time, looking at this battle as like a strategic thinker, I think it would not be a bad idea to maybe open him up into his courtyard and still hold the wall with everything I have. So hold the wall with some archers and javelins and stuff, but let him into this courtyard so I can shoot him maybe. But again, that's, if I conquer the city, if Darren conquers the city, it's all variable. If I win, it's probably kind of unlikely that I will have to fight for Pella anytime soon because, I would have killed a lot. I have another army coming up to reinforce. So, if I win this battle, I will handicap the AI Thracian armies quite heavily, and I could probably come in and clean them up quite nicely. However, if I lose, I'm going to have to try and reclaim this city from Darren because they'll probably put a full stack in the city. And obviously then Darren gets to defend the entire city. I mean, I only have a stack to do it, so that kind of devolves as well. When you're fighting against an actual player, you don't normally take sieges you could win against the AI. Because I have to worry about 40 minutes. I have to worry about losing my army, about replenishing it. I'm going to take heavy casualties trying to take these walls if Darren wins this battle. I think also I managed to reclaim back this tower, which is so goddamn important because it just shoots so much out. And I mean, look at the massacre that's behold up here. The amount of archer fire has just littered these walls. I've also managed to rout these guys, but I mean, look at that javelin throw! And I've only got a unit of Greek militia here now, and Darren seizes that, and he's going to throw forward all of his infantry now, looking to, you know, there's no one here. He can basically just pull through his infantry, surround me, and break me. That's not good whatsoever, and I'm having to commit these guys over here. Also, in the most recent changes, this is how fast this heavy, very heavy hoplite unit can move. This is them running, basically. So they've made some recent changes to divide et Impera, which basically go ahead and make heavy units extremely slow to kind of get more use out of medium and light units. So, you know, maneuvering that from one side of the city to another, it's going to take me time that I don't have. You know, right here, I'm committing a unit of Greek archers just to slow these guys up as much as possible. Darren is also going to be committing some men over here. Oh, and these guys are scary dudes. These are his elite dudes. The Thracian Balksmen. Very scary stuff. And they're going to just cut through my archers. I think there was a bit of pathfinding issues here. I think he said after the battle that he couldn't commit men up here or something. Like, it was just really hard to attack this unit, which really saved my butt, because if he could have come into the flank of these guys or these guys, this would have been huge. But right now as well, a lot of my good units, like I've got 2 of my fairly decent hoplite units right here on this wall right now holding it. And realistically, I need them down here. Like, Darren is broken through now. Look at this. Like, I'm having to throw in my archers just again to slow up this assault, because I've got, you know, roughly 11 minutes to hold. As the battle goes down to literally the last couple seconds here and there is insane. So, you know, I'm looking at the timer. I'm like, shit, 11 seconds, just throwing archers. I have to contain this breach, because if Darren can get all his men in, that's going to be bad. If I can't get this unit of hoplites set up in time, that's really bad. But Darren sees that. You know, he's not a dumb player. He's not the AI. He's going to see me advancing this unit of hoplites, and he's going to charge through. He's going to pull through and try and hit my defenders before they can form up, and he's done a job of that. He's got some of his Thracian dudes in here. Again, and this allows him to then bring through more infantry to come around the side and envelop my hoplites. You know, hoplites aren't that great from the side and flanks. I've got my slingers up here, and these guys are doing a great job at hitting the enemy in the side. But it's just not enough right now. There's just too many men. Look at this goddamn balance of power bar. You know, it's just not looking good. Luckily, these Rhodian slingers are very good. I mean, we can probably look at their kills so far. If these guys are on 120 kills, doesn't sound like a lot, but actually is. These archers over here are on 200. These guys are on 100. You know, they've also routed a lot. These guys are on only 5. Wow. These guys are on 47. There's so many kills right now on my archers. And these guys are on 300. These guys only on 27. Wow. That's a bit embarrassing. I hope they would have done a bit better. But again, all this time, you know, I've got a unit of hoplites here, and Darren is just committing one unit at a time, you know, to try and slow this up as much as he can. Because he doesn't have to win here. He just has to keep this unit busy. If he can keep this unit busy, then he can bring up more, you know, he can break this point right here, and then come and flank me, and I'll have to retreat to the city centre. But I don't have anything to retreat to the city centre. You know, like, I'm coming up here to rally my men, and this was something I should have done way before as well. It's kind of dumb of me not to. But I should have been using my rally abilities a lot more, my inspire abilities. But also, remember that unit that had 47 men I mentioned at the beginning of a battle? That's this unit. They're down to 34 men. And if we take a look at it really quickly, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. They've got 300 kills. They are insane right now. They are actually insane. Considering there's only 47 of them, they've basically held this wall like Hercules or Achilles himself. And there we go, the floodgate has arrived. So Darren only has roughly 8.5 minutes to 9 minutes to take this now that he's broken forward. It took him all that time to break through, but now he finally has. He can just, you know, descend upon me in every single way. Now, what I think would have really screwed me is if he would have committed some infantry round here. I think because the battle was just like laggy and pathfinding was a bitch, it just didn't seem like it was worth sending a unit all the way around. But realistically, if he could have got, you know, a couple units of infantry down here, I have nothing to defend it. Right now, I have every archer unit committed. Luckily, I have some pikes here, and the pikes will just hold back the AI. You know, the AI is just dumb enough to charge into these pikes. But it kind of does, you know, fit Darren, what Darren needs. He needs someone to keep this unit busy whilst he does the hard work, and he charges through here and surrounds my elite unit of hoplites, which he's done completely back. You know, these guys, I think, are supposed to be in phalanx, but because he managed to hit this unit early, it prevented them from becoming this brick wall. You know, he hit me when I was moving over and trying to form up, and now he's just pulling units through as well. I think the unit is still holding, but there's just no depth to the unit whatsoever. And the king has now had to come out. The king is out, and, you know, he is committed to this fight. Because there is just nothing left. Like, over here, I've got peasant mob and archers fighting. Look at my mob. Just mob and archers fighting and holding down this right-hand side. Because if this breaks, then he can just go straight to the city centre. Or he can come up here and kill my men on the walls. Like, it's just so brutal. I believe my general is going to charge in right now, and any second now. He's getting ready. The king has, you know, saddled his men. And he's going to come in. Also, and I think he messes up this charge because I click like another unit. Because the units are all so... Yeah, that was an awful charge. I think it was because I clicked like a unit back here. Because these units are just so messed up now. There's just, you know, no formation. It's just a dash to the wall. I charge in. I think I come in again and get a more effective charge, though, in a second. And one of the really good things about Macedon is their general sizes. Their general have 200 horses in these units with their full strength. Unfortunately, my king doesn't because he's so depleted. But it's just brutal. Okay, here we go. We're going to see a good charge here. This is the royal cavalry for Sparta, for Macedon. Stay true to their name, smashing through that Thracian line, killing plenty of these guys. But I can't stay in because, again, if I lose my general, you know, I've only got 5-6 minutes left to hold. If I lose my general, it's over because the morale of my units will just drop and it'll be done. So I need to keep him alive as much as I can, whilst also slowing the enemy advance. You can see over here right now, a unit of archers is withstanding this unit of, you know, Thracians. Right here, I've got, you know, everyone committed. I've also got some fire arrows left. I don't know how, but I have managed to clutch this part of the battlefield. I've managed to rout these last couple AI units, and Darren only has 2 units left up here. If I can rout these units, I can bring back this infantry off the wall, and I can throw them back to the city centre. And you can see I'm trying to do that right now. It gets a little bit glitchy because of the lag, because of the pathfinding in sieges. It gets a bit laggy, and I'm like spam clicking at this point. And if you've watched the VOD or you saw this battle live, you can see how triggered I was, because this battle is so important. I keep on saying it, but it really is. In Divide et Impera, in a head-to-head where I would have to fight Darren to reclaim this city, I would need so many men to do so. And whilst that, you know, I'm down to 3 cities because I only hold Apollonia, Sparta, and the Larissa. I also lose a major part of my income, my capital, the population, the buildings. Like, this battle is just so important right now. I have 4.5 minutes left to hold. This unit is just going goddamn back to the wall. Get to the city centre. As well as that, this part of the, you know, is starting to falter a little bit. I'm running out of men. And look at him. Darren is just coming in full force with everything he has. Luckily, these pikemen are still holding back a large portion of the enemy force. It's kind of what they're here for. But Darren has now turned the towers against me and they're shooting me. My general is having to go in just to try and help aid this and keep these men alive. I popped my rally, I popped my inspire ability, which managed to hit both of these units. And Darren still has javelins left. Like, this is so huge that he has javelins still throwing, because they're going to break through this phalanx really effectively, soften it up for when his infantry comes flying in. And as you can see, look at everything just coming in. Like, honestly, at this point, it was so intense. Like, I just don't think I can do it at this point. I just don't see there's much left, because when these archers break, it's going to be bad. If my general gets... Because my general can die right now, right? We're down to 63 men. Any soldier could probably be taken down on this horse, and he's shooting me as well. Like, if he kills my general, it's over. The morale is just done. This side is starting to break now as my archers are withdrawing back. I'm trying to get this infantry unit is still going back to the wall. I've ordered it so many times to go. You can see me spam clicking. Like, that's how angry I was. And I'm just trying to break these guys. I know I'm breaking, but I think it's more important that I try and break these guys and bring them back. The pikes are holding. However, you know, there is now positions. Darren's going to be doing a great job here of just pulling through his men. I don't have the numbers to withstand him. Luckily, this phalanx is my only bastion of defense, but there's only so long that this can hold. You know, it's not a very deep line, and he still has javelins left, for God's sake. He still has javelins left, which will just make holes that he can bring men through. I think there's still a small gap here. You can see right now, yeah, he's going to be trying to pull through. Luckily, my phalanx is going to do somewhat withstand, but there's a gap. You know, there is a gap in this line, which I couldn't quite filter. And, you know, soldiers are breaking forward. He's got men charging all the way around here. And I'm using mob. I'm using Greek citizens. They are fighting for their home, their land. And they're trying to withstand the enemy assault. Over here, we have my pikemen. They've now been surrounded as Darren moves his men round and withstands that. It's going to free up so many more units. I finally got this unit of hoplites down off the wall. My men are starting to break as Darren wins over there. He's descending from every single side. There is only 2 minutes left remaining. I'm about to lose my Rhodian slingers over here, and I'm just rushing as much as I can to get these hoplites back. I need them back because this position right here is about to rout. My general is down to 16 men, and look at this. Gaps have appeared in my battle line. I didn't even realize you could maneuver here, by the way. I'll have to keep an eye on it next time for sure. But yeah, look at this. See, Darren is now broken through the gaps in my battle line. I'm having to throw in my general right now. And the morale on these units is so bad. And if he flanks me, it's over. You know, and look at him. He's just running through, trying to kill my men as I retreat. They've managed to break my mercenaries up on the wall now. And everything is just descending right here. Darren pops off a huge Inspire. My spearmen are breaking. If these spearmen break in the next minute and 20 minutes, it is over. In the next minute and 20 seconds, it is over. Because all of these guys will just run through and kill the last couple of my units. I'm trying as fast as I can to bring this unit of hoplites, Macedonian hoplites, my last bastion, to get back and try and defend my back as much as I can. You know, but however, Darren is not going to be stupid. There's nothing holding these units back. It's a crappy unit of archers. It's not going to be able to withstand this, and Darren is going to be committing. All he has to do is try and flank me here, and you know, if he can surround me, my hoplites are going to break. You know, if they don't have morale, my king is in. I've only got 3 or 4 units minus this one, like including this one. 3 units left. They've got yellow. There's only 30 odd seconds left until I win or Darren is victorious. I'm down to red morale here on both of my spear units. Oh my god, is this going to be it? Is Pella going to be taken by the Thracian hordes? Is my king going to be here? I mean, that was kind of anticlimactic. I don't know why it cut off the last 10 seconds of that battle, but the timer did indeed run out, and I was victorious. I managed to claim victory. The timer did just bang out. I managed to get one crucial rally off, which I'm not sure if you guys saw. It was about 45 seconds left of the battle, and I managed to get a rally off. It was going down. That's when my units were red as well. They had red morale, and my king, who was down to like 50 men at this point, yeah, he was down to like 50 men at this point, and I was spam clicking it as the timer went down, and I just managed to get it off. Like if my units would have routed before that, it was over. Like I had 3 units left. Like I had literally 3 units, and they were very, very close to breaking. It was just such an insane battle. It really, really was. And I can't believe I managed to hold it. It was a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, just look at my army, what remains. And a lot of the units you see, like a lot of these guys routed. So it's not even as if like these guys remained. You know, all of these guys routed. I think these were my hoplites, and they were literally, you know, seconds away from routing. It was just insane. Absolutely such a close battle. My general getting 105 kills, so close to dying. You know, if any lucky arrow or spear or javelin found him, it was over. You know, if them units, if I couldn't get that rally off in the last 30 seconds, it was over. Darren, you know, just could not push in and take it. You know, if he would have had 30 seconds or a minute more, that battle was over. Literally, if I did not win in that instance, I would have lost. And that's just some of the battles. And we get a lot of these really close siege battles, which is actually pretty crazy. In the last head-to-head we did, when I was playing as Rome and he was playing as Egypt, we had many sieges like that, which went down to literally the last couple minutes. And it's just awesome. That's why I love the 40-minute battle timer, because we have such close battles. And win or lose, you know, that battle would have completely reshaped my campaign, which is why I love it. Taking a look at some of my MVP units, these hoplites right here. I think the reason they got 600 kills is by this point, Darren was pulling through his infantry just to try and surround the hoplites because I didn't have enough to hold him back. So because of that, I was killing a lot of them as they were just running through. Because basically, if you don't know in Divided Impera, if you try and pull through men through like a phalanx or a pike wall, you're going to take heavy casualties and heavy morale damage. But at this point in the battle, it didn't really matter, right? Darren didn't care if he lost these extra men. He just wanted to win. So he was bringing through soldiers, just trying to make it as quick as possible, but taking heavy casualties because of it. And there we go, 500 kills on these guys. This was the unit that had 47 men. So even though I won this battle, I managed to hold Pella. It doesn't necessarily, mean amazing things to me because my army and my population is devastated. I think now that I've won this battle, I think I looked afterwards and I had something along the lines of 600 or maybe 700 warrior class. There's like 4 classes in Divided Impera. But I think I had like 400 where I get the majority of my good units from left. Meaning that I'm going to be able to produce like 2 units, and I can't even do that because I need more population. I need it to build. It's a percentage. So the more you have, the more you get every turn. So, Pella is drained. Macedon and Greece is drained of men right now. I'm going to have to try and, buy my way mercenary-wise to try and conquer these guys. Now that I've beaten them, as you can see, they took heavy casualties. Basically losing, 5,500 here, 2,000 in this army. I can either try and sue for peace, which I think I do. I think I sue for peace with this faction, and I sue for peace with the Odyssean Kingdom, which is a faction I'm also at war with. And then I go and try and I'm going to in tomorrow's stream, which make sure you're there Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. GMT. You can always watch the VOD over, and I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to catch up before then. Yeah, you can go ahead and I'm looking to take these guys out whilst making peace with these. And these guys are depleted, I've just killed 6,000 of their men. It's going to take them a while to regain that. But, look at that. I lost 5,000 and managed to kill 6,000. It's just a shame that this army wasn't stronger. If this army was full strength to begin with, I think it would have been okay. But because it was so depleted, because I just didn't have the manpower, it just made for such an amazing battle. And hopefully you guys got a little glimpse, just a little glimpse of how amazing this head-to-head can be, That's just one battle of, an entire campaign which we're about to partake on. And this isn't even me and Darren fighting yet either, One time, eventually, me and Darren, our borders will clash, to win the campaign. We have to fight one another. And that's when it gets really, really serious. That's when spies and attrition and sieges and everything, where you position your armies becomes so goddamn important. So, hopefully you guys are looking forward to this. Make sure to check out the stream. As I said, Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. GMT is when we stream every single week, unless you find out otherwise. If you also want to keep up to date, find out whenever we go live, get a notification, join the Discord, the link will be in the description, or follow me on Twitter, again in the description. I'll always post there whenever I go live on Twitch, so that's an easy way to keep updated. But also just follow me as well on Twitch so you get notified when I go live there as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this insanely close battle. I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Let me know as well when we stream tomorrow if you came from this video, as I'd be interested to see how many people do turn over and look to watch, how many people this is inspired to come and watch probably the best campaign on the internet. So yeah, I will see you guys there, and fish out.